in the la scuola primaria, so with the classes quarta e quinta, you get a book which is just full of work exercises and activities. There's songs, there's role plays, there's fun games, there's literally everything. Even things like reading the stories were so beneficial because you can do anything. Sit down, round in a circle, story time is so useful for them to hear the pronunciation, for them to get used to hearing words in context, and also for them just to enjoy. It's much more interesting to hear a story than to, I don't know, make children write out paragraphs. So that would be a top tip. I've said top tip about 50 times. That would be my top tip for planning your work, is to make things fun. When you've got the book and there's questions and there's write this and there's read this, it's so useful and it really is a good way to learn. But try to remember that this is fun too, because it has to be fun for you. So that would definitely be something to remember. It's so much help is provided for you to make your lessons that really, as long as you can think of something fun to play, it's easy. It's not. The work is hard and there is a lot of work and you have to be prepared for it. The salary is incredible. It is a million times higher than any of the other positions like this that I've done or my friends are doing or that I'm doing next semester. It's unparalleled, literally the best available. But with this incredible situation, not paying for food, not paying for rent, lunch, dinners, like lunches at school every day, and the large salary, rightfully, they do expect a high level of teaching. So if you do go in on a Monday and you haven't planned anything and you're yawning and you're so tired, we're all tired, but if you stayed up all night talking to your friends and you went to bed at 4, you have to get up at 6 to make it to school. School starts at 8. It's just not what they expect. So I definitely would say to prepare yourself to go into it knowing that you're going to be working. It is working. It's not just chilling out in Italy for the next 3 months, as much as we'd all love to, because Italy really is a beautiful country and the people here are so lovely. I would definitely suggest that you make sure you're prepared for the work, because it is a lot. It's a lot of work. And I have to, and if you're a student, I'm sure you guys have to do some work for your university as well on top of that. So definitely something to factor in. It's perfect. It is rewarding. It's an experience of a lifetime. Just make sure that you're ready for the work. So maybe just to tell you a little bit about a typical school day. The days in the primary school start at 8:15. They have 3 lessons, then a snack, 2 lessons. They have some time for lunch and play, 2 hours, and then 2 lessons in the afternoon. And the school day finishes at 4:15. Whereas in the secondary school, the school day starts at 8 and finishes at 1. However, 2 afternoons a week, there are some select classes that work until 4. Also, they have lunch, a quick break, and then back for 2 more classes in the afternoon. Your timetable my timetable was quite spread out, which I found to be a good thing. Some days I started late, I'd go in at 10 and I'd finish at 2. Other days I'd be in at 8, but like today, for example, home by 12. So you've got plenty of time to go and explore, go and do some work, literally whatever you fancy doing. You're so free to do anything. On a Monday, for example, I start at 8. I have 3 classes, a terza, a seconda, and prima, in the secondary school. I then have 2 hours free. There's plenty of space in the school. You can stay in the English classroom, you can go to the teacher's room, you can go to the cafeteria, you can find a spare classroom if you want to stay, if you want to plan, if you want to chill out and read a book in the warm. Okay, it's quite cold here, so you can just do that if you like. If you want to go go back home if that's okay with your host family, or go somewhere for like do whatever you want really. And then I go to lunch at the cafeteria at 1. So some days in the cafeteria I sit with the primary school children and some days with the secondary school children. The food is good, it is lunch food, but I was very impressed. My primary school, I think we ate off like little plastic trays with wooden cutlery. It was a bit dingy. Here you have placemats laid out for you. They always write a little name place that says Madrelingua for me, so I always know there's a little table for me. There's a bread basket, there's water, bottles of water, so proper cutlery. It's quite impressive. I was very impressed. And then I had 2 classes in the primary school in the afternoon. Some days changes. On a Wednesday I only have 2 classes. On a Thursday I think I have 5. So it's nice and spread out. You're not spending 3 days a week absolutely killing yourself working and then doing nothing, but you've got plenty of time to do what you like. The school are so accommodating. My family came out to stay for a week and I wanted to spend some time with them, to see some of Italy. So I just mentioned to Carla that my family would be here, and she moved my classes around so that I had 2 whole days to spend with them free after the weekend. So literally anything that they can do to help you or to make it easier for you, to ease you into it or to accommodate you, they really, really will. You do only have to ask, and they couldn't be more helpful. With the 3s, they're the oldest that you teach. They are capable, obviously. They are all mind-blowing, to be honest. I didn't speak a foreign language the way that they can when I was their age, but they just need some encouragement. I think with all the classes, with the younger classes, they love you, they run up, they'll hug you in the corridors, they'll write you little love letters, and they are so sweet and so lovely. But you really do just have to encourage them to talk. So obviously it can feel strange if you've never been away from home or never been away for a long period of time or done something like this. It can feel strange, but it's definitely good to know that there is so much help here for you. Even with the silly things like banking, the school sets you up an Italian bank account and pays you into that, so that it's so much easier to keep track of your money, and also it saves you, converting money or paying English bank charges and stuff like that. I could not, when I first arrived, could not have set up a bank account by myself. My Italian was not that good, but Carla came with me. She did everything. She told me everything I needed to know, and things like anything, getting a haircut. I got a friend to write out everything I had to say to the hairdresser because I was scared she was going to cut it all off and I'd walk out with hair up to here. Going to the doctors, literally anything like that, they are so helpful with. Your host families will be so helpful. Every time I cough, someone hands me like a cough drop or makes me a cup of tea. You couldn't be more pampered for. So I think if that's something that you're a little bit doubtful or scared about, then you definitely should relax, because it really couldn't be nice there. You couldn't feel more loved or cared for by people who aren't your real family. So I say that I have 3 Italian mums, because both my host mums and Carla they really do look after you. There's nothing more you could need. So another really important factor of the English for Everyone experience as a whole is living with the host families. This was something I was worried about, particularly before I came. I've done it before, and it's a long time to be in somebody else's home, so I was a little bit worried, but it has turned out to be my favourite part of the experience. Hands down, I definitely would not have had the trip that I've had if it weren't for my host families. So something I didn't know, and something the other people on the course didn't know, is that it's very rare to stay with one family for your whole stay. obviously 3 months is a long time, and it's difficult, or it's a little more rare to find families who have a spare room. With both my families and the majority of my friends, stay in one of the children's room, or the child's room of the family. In both of my families, there's 2 children, and they are now sharing a room so that there's a room for me. You can feel a little bit like you're imposing when you're taking like a poor child's room, but they are so excited to have you. You really are treated like an angel in their house. So it is common to swap families. I was very lucky. I've only swapped once. So I spent 6 weeks in my first family and 6 weeks in this family. However, I do know people on the course who have swapped 3 or 4 times. But obviously, from the way I see it, it's just even better because there's more people to meet, more families to be involved in, more Italian lifestyles to copy and get to live in. I think it's incredible to be able to experience the Italian part of being an Italian lifestyle so firsthand. So I definitely see that as a positive, but definitely something just to bear in mind. Both my families could not have been nicer if they tried. They are lovely, they are kind, they are caring. There isn't anything you could need. Everything is catered for you. The food obviously is incredible. It's Italy. I've never eaten so much pasta. I think I've gained about 2 stone. The pasta is so good. Saturdays, if I stay here with the family, if I'm not away exploring something, with my last family, we would always cook. We'd make fresh ravioli or fresh pizzas or baking cakes, biscuits. It really is, you really are included as part of the family. Even now, I left my last family about 5 weeks ago. The mum texts me all the time, good morning, good night. I go round for a merenda, a little snack after school, play with the children. I go to see their cheerleading classes. They really are part of the family. The grandma, I'll stop in and see her if I have a break at school. Anything. You really couldn't feel more involved. With this family here, the mum and the children are busy on Wednesday nights. So the father and I go to his parents, we have dinner, we chat. He has the loveliest family. You really are part of the family. I would recommend definitely engaging with this. It can be a little bit scary sometimes. You've been at work, you start at 8, you finish at 4:15, you're tired, you just want to watch Netflix. But to stay with the family, we always come home, we have a cup of tea, we have some biscuits, we sit and chat, an hour's gone by, and it really is the loveliest thing. Otherwise, you can sort of feel yourself a little bit isolated if you just run home straight to your room on your phone and e basta. Okay? You get lonely, and the families also, they don't really like it. They're putting themselves out to host you, so it is really nice to spend the time with them. But on the other hand, as soon as you're tired, as soon as you have work to do, because you will have work to do, they are so understanding of that. They go to your room, do some work. They will help you. Both my host mums and the teachers at the school have been so helpful with my essay, offering me suggestions, helping, letting me interview them for my essay, checking it, proofreading the Italian. So they really are. It really is an aspect that you couldn't ask for better. On the other hand, if you're not as lucky as I was and your host family isn't quite as welcoming or accommodating, which I'm sure it will not be, you do feel so welcome, Carla. It makes you feel so comfortable to say if you're not happy with something, I'm sorry, I'm not happy. But I know without a doubt that will not happen. Everyone is so welcoming. You meet people in the street and they invite you round for dinner because you're from England, or you really will. It is an aspect of the trip that you couldn't ask for better. So definitely would recommend that. This is the best part of the trip.